there are people out there right now who are starting businesses.
Absolutely.
We know exactly what that feels like.
You're right in front of them, so it's like having a billboard that you're actually putting right in front of somebody's face.
When you're considering adding corporate apparel to your brand, these are some things that you should consider.
A lot of website companies, they build it and then they have the ownership of it, and then you don't. You want to own your website.
Welcome to the Marketing Compass podcast, your trusted guide through the ever-changing world of marketing and advertising. I'm Nick Prentice with Blue River Digital here, the Director of Digital Marketing. I'm joined today with Wes Sigler and Ryan Sigler. They're going to kind of talk us through the early stages of Blue River Digital and what they experienced, some milestones that maybe they saw, and how that changed and molded kind of who we are today. So Wes, why don't you tell us a little bit about Blue River?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. We started in 2014, actually, in September of that year. It's about 9.5 years now since we've started. We say that we're a full-service marketing firm. Really starts with graphic design, and we have some really talented graphic designers. And so as we begin a marketing process, it usually starts with a logo design or something to that effect. And as we expand on marketing through that, that goes into all different types of advertising. So, that logo gets put on business cards and gets printed. That logo gets put on a website that's being developed. That logo gets followed through to digital marketing, signage, all different facets. So, when we say we're a full service marketing firm, we really follow the marketing through all the different facets of advertising that's out there. We started in 2014 with just a small, Ryan and I, and actually my wife Amy, and it began. We purchased a small apparel shop. Really wasn't necessarily our focus, apparel, but it kind of got our foot in the door with some local clients that we really respected. And as we began to develop those relationships, we began to offer more services to them. And then I had a background in the auction and real estate industry. And so over the previous 12 years, I had gotten very familiar with auctions and real estate and marketing advertising for that. I tell my kids often, find something that you love to do and then become an expert at it. And so I spent, about 12 years really trying to become an expert at learning and understanding the real estate and auction market and then how to advertise. And, we were fortunate enough to win some really neat, national awards. We've won the Auction of the Year for the National Auctioneers Association now 6 different times with 3 different clients. We have numerous state awards that we've won. And so as we've become the experts in that realm, in real estate and auction, it started to fan out into other companies looking at us and saying, hey, would you help us market, the way we see you doing that for your clients. And so that's really grown a lot over the last few years where we've taken on more national auction and real estate clients and really have helped them kind of develop their own marketing strategy and then also market these individual auctions and sales. So we started here local in Indiana, here in Columbia City and now in Warsaw. We have 2 offices here in Northeast Indiana, but really serve clients in probably 30 or more states, and in a variety of ways. We still do apparel, we still do screen printing, we do signage and then our bread and butter, our graphic design, our digital marketing. So yeah, we've grown substantially from Ryan and I and my wife to we'll by the end of this year we'll have about 14 staff members who are employed from bookkeeping and secretarial to production to graphic design, digital marketing, video, So yeah, it's been fun to see some of the growth that, that's been happening. And we're looking forward to continued growth here as we move forward.
Ryan, when Wes talks about the auction industry, we know and understand kind of that process and kind of the fast paced production mindset. How has that affected our local non real estate and auction clients, and how we work with them?
It's kind of a tough question.
That's what we're all about, putting you on the spot.
I mean, how the auction, he works with auction and how it's affected our local clients.
Yeah, just that kind of that fast paced production type mindset and what that's done
to. I mean, going back to the beginning, I think the hard work ethic that we have, we were small, so we had to wear a lot of hats. So we had to figure out how to turn products around, turn them quickly, and we believe quick turnaround time is very efficient for our customers and makes our customers happy. And I think that's the number one goal as we set out in the beginning is be good workers, be hard workers, get it done quickly, turn it around. And I think with the auction industry, the deadline driven industry that it is, has helped us and helped our clients, just having a completed project done and efficient. And I think that is our roots for Blue River is we really get things done. We work hard. We don't let it sit on our plate for very long, and we try to get that done every day. And so I think number one, our hard work ethic is what has changed.
Yeah. So I see how from the auction industry, how that fast paced, deadline focused mentality has kind of formed and transformed how we do business locally with our other customers. With the fact that everything is under one house, under one roof, all of these different marketing services and capabilities all together under one roof really allows the process to move very smoothly and quickly. And now when we work with contractors or landscapers or retail shops, nonprofits, when we work with them, we're able to bring that same type of deadline driven focus. Because, let's admit it, I think from a business owner perspective, we all love the idea of trying to plan ahead, but it's not always that simple. A lot of times we're busy, we're head down getting projects done, or we just don't realize that we're out of business cards. We need these quick. So I feel like that's a big piece of what Blue River Digital is the fact that just that deadline focused auction mentality that we bring to all of our projects really helps our customers in a different way. And we hear that from our customers. I think probably some of the biggest, I would say, challenges that our customers have faced with competitors in the market have just been slow turnaround times and communication, and how we work through that with our auction clients kind of shape that.
And remaining flexible through the whole thing is, like you said, we try to plan out as best as we can. And we need to do that. But we also need to remain very flexible for our clients when, they're put on the line and they have deadlines and it's rush. And we try to be as flexible and meet those demands at the same time as having our day planned out too. So,
yeah. So Wes, let's go back to the early times again, 2023, 2013, 14. And just kind of moving into that new building in downtown. It was like 800 square feet. And tell us, maybe first off, when deciding to move to Blue River Digital, what was it that landed you on the name Blue River Digital?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were looking at a building downtown Columbia City, like Nick said. It was a little tiny gray box just off of the square. And, we got offered a really good lease, monthly lease for that. And so, early on, overhead was a super big thing for us. And so, it was a great deal, but it was tiny. I remember one or 2 days after we walked in, of course, you got to remember it was an apparel shop, and like the whole front of the whole building was full of racks of clothing everywhere.
Like blank clothing.
Blank clothes,
Yeah.
T-shirts and bags and
Rainbow of colors.
sweatpants. Yeah, all in different sizes and all in different colors. My kids loved it. It was like, hiding in all the racks and all that stuff. But we were only a block away from the Blue River. So in Northeast Indiana, running through Columbia City is actually the Blue River. Now, it's not very blue. It's more like it's brown. But it starts up in Northeast Indiana and travels right through Columbia City and on to the Wabash. And so, I get that question asked a lot. Well, how did you come up with Blue River? Well, we were, it's a local river that comes right through Columbia City. So that's how we got the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. So Ryan, when you first came over from Ohio to join Wes and Amy at the new building, what were your days like? How is it different than today? And what your workload looked like?
Well, coming from, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 15 years of experience in graphic design.
Uh-huh.
And then I went straight into production. So since we bought an apparel shop, 50% or even probably more than that, 90% of our local clients
Mm-hmm.
was apparel. So I designed shirts and then I cut out of vinyl. We had a heat press inside. So I would design, we'd have walk-in customers that would come in and say, hey, I need my last name on this, for $5. And so I would load it up on the screen, design it, pick a font, cut it, and heat press it while they were waiting in 10 minutes and be done. And that was our $5, that we made or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we had, we had signage. So I would also cut, sign vinyl and letter signs and come up with sign designs. And then we had a rolling printer, ours, which we still have, 50 and 54-inch EcoSoft printer that we would print on large format vinyl and then mount it to signs. So that was pretty much my job. I was still living in Ohio and I was driving out Monday mornings and sleeping at Wes's house on his couch during the week and then go back home on weekends. So
what a great brother.
Yeah, it was good. And, he's like, I don't even know if this is going to, if at first it was like, hey, I just need help getting this going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be a full-time thing or not. And so I was like, I needed work at the time. And so, he helped me out and then it turned into what it is today in 10 short years.
Yeah.
Go by fast, but it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Just 10 years ago, we were in that situation, and now we're doing podcasts. So,
cool. We've definitely seen tremendous blessings over the years. Wes, how would you say that, kind of those humble beginnings, how has that shaped, how we do business today?
Yeah, I think, starting off, when you're hungry for work, especially, the answer normally is yes. Hey, can you do this? Yes, we'll find a way. And I think that, that idea, that culture has continued to where, we get phone calls on a lot of variety of things. And some of the things we're not good at. And so we have to be honest and say, well, hey, this may not be under our umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But there is such a wide variety of things that we have put our heads together and said, hey, how can we make this work for our client? What can we do to fulfill this need that they have? And so, taking the time to do that and still continuing that philosophy now where, people come in and, they have something scratched up on a napkin or a piece of paper and they're like, hey, what's possible? And, giving them the time to look at it and, assess it and say, well, here's what we would suggest. And so, early on, we were doing everything from clocks to, we were peeling off semi-trailers, wraps off of the semi-trailers out front, the huge variety of things that we were doing. And so, as we've grown, we've continued to, keep a lot of those services so that, when that small business, that medium business comes in, we can say, hey, yeah, we can help with that, and, make it all look cohesive. So whether it's a truck or a business card or a sign or, whatever. So yeah, I think, we started very humbly, and, I think we also understand that there are people out there right now who are starting businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we know exactly what that feels like. I mean, sleeping on the couch, a tiny little office, and, trying to figure it out. So, we want to be a help to those people because they're inspiring. They're the types of people we are. Let's go get it. Let's go figure it out. And so it's been neat. It's been really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryan, we bought the apparel shop, brought over a graphic design and print and a little bit of signage with the Roland printer. Today we have got 9 departments. So as we've grown and added departments, how has that process been? Like when did you see, hey, we should start offering this? There's a market for that, or we're having this request enough times to start adding digital marketing, or start adding in mailing services, or start adding in promotional goods, promotional items.
I don't think there is a time. I don't remember an instance where we said, hey, we're going to offer this service. I think it's been demanded by our clients. And we just, since we started small, they asked for it, and then we gave it to them. And then trying to keep our business mind going, we're like, well, we can scale this, or
Sure.
we think this is a viable thing for the future. And I think we've developed those departments based on what people have been asking us for over and over again. And then we realize, well, maybe this specific item might not be in our best interest to do, or it's just so hard for us to produce, then we don't do that. So I think we've accepted what our clients have asked for, and then we've also built the ones that work the best for us, for our model. And I think those are our 9 departments.
Yeah. So Wes, how about we dive into a little bit, because I know this is something that you're passionate about. So like we said before, like starting humbly at this smaller location, and eventually moving during COVID into a new building in Columbia City, and now the 3rd location here. The Lord has blessed us with a lot of different things, and we like to try to give back as much as we can. Sure. So and this is something that you're passionate about, Wes. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the ways that you've found to be able to give back
absolutely.
in meaningful ways?
Yeah, I mean, even before I started our career, my wife and I were married 1 year, and then we left for West Africa. At that time, this was in 2000. We went over to the country of Togo to set up a small print shop. The print shop was used for a local mission organization who had a hospital complex. They had a nurses training center. They had pastoral training. They had like 30 some churches, all French speaking. And they just needed material. They needed material printed. They needed material translated. And so we kind of married the print shop over there with a translation department. And basically, Amy and I took over a print shop in a box. And so we had printing presses on that container. We had darkroom equipment at that time. We had computers, Mac computers at that time. So and it was a 2-year commitment. And so Amy taught graphic design to 2 men, and the 2 guys were beside me every day as they learned printing. So I taught them basically printing from the early stages of darkroom to all the way through to production and running a printing press. Mm-hmm. And so when we came back in 2002, I continue and have continued to provide resources for them, more training, paper, which is a big cost. And then also just more supplies, more parts. It's harder and harder for us now to find this old printing equipment. And so some of my job is trying to find and locate some of this old equipment so that we can use it for either parts or new equipment. So West Africa missions has always been on my mind, even through, the start of Blue River. And we've continued to support that print shop. It employs about 6 men, 4 men, 2 ladies, and their families over there. It's self-sustaining. And so something that we're very passionate about is just being able to support that ministry, help them succeed. And then in the meantime, we've also started some things in the country of Malawi in Eastern Africa, and have started a nonprofit there called Giving Basics, where we are working on some sustainable feeding programs for schools, some agricultural things. So a lot of the philosophy behind success for us is finding ways to give back, and we do that here locally as well through some youth programs and some other things. So it's very high on our minds, and it's something that we invest not only our money but our time and our talents into. And so it's a huge part of what we do.
Yeah, it's an exciting piece. I'd love to maybe spend some more time on that during maybe a different podcast episode.
Absolutely.
We can talk about Giving Basics and maybe bring Amy in as well.
Yep.
And to share with others and how maybe they could get involved and participate in what we're able to do in other countries. So so Ryan, I'd like to get back to you a little bit and just pick your memory here a little bit on our past about what would you say would be like a milestone moment that you remember from the Blue River past that, oh wow, this is gonna turn into something big?
Boy, I pretty much knew right away. I think maybe within 3 to 6 months in the business, I think it was going to work. We work hard, and I think that's if you work hard at something, it's hard not to be successful at it if you really just put your mind and the diligent work to it. I think that's 80% of the battle. 20% skill, 80% work. So no, I think I didn't know the overall size of what it could be in 10 years, in the 10 years that we've been in business. But I actually offered Wes. I was like, hey, I don't want to take a raise for the next year, but I want 10% of Blue River. And I think that was within the first year we were in business, because I knew the value in 10 years is going to be. And he's like, you need to come back with me with something a little bit better than that. So we never did make a deal on that. But that was, I remember that. And that was pretty early on. I don't know if you remember me saying that.
I'm not sure I even remember that.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm going to give up no raises for a year. You can have Ash and Ariel. You can have it all, whatever I can give. I just want 10% if it ever sells, or what the value is down the road. But he's probably smart enough not to take that offer. So no, but I knew pretty early that I wanted to be a part of it, and be a part of it, and I knew it was going to be successful. So
You've had the opportunity to do a lot of traveling through Blue River and the specifically the drone projects that you've had. I can recall an Idaho trip, a Texas trip, South Carolina, Louisiana. Does one of those trips stand out as just something that
they all have their memories to them?
Yeah.
Louisiana and Texas, because of Jennings. Flying to Louisiana with one of our clients was interesting. He's just really cool individual, and
Mhm.
took us to dinner and things like that. So that was, and being on the bayou on a boat, traveling with, 100 pounds of camera and drone gear with, a local Louisianan, whatever you call it, a guy from Louisiana, and just the way he talked. And it was the bayou, language, and it was interesting. But I'd say our Northern Idaho trip for Yarborough auctions, doing a big land auction in Northern Idaho, was very memorable. We had the seller was 90 years old at the time, maybe a little over 90.
That was a whole mountain, right?
We
we
got to drive for an hour and a half to the destination with him, and all he did was tell stories there and back.
Awesome.
And you're talking 100 years ago, so this is early 1920s Depression era, and just the equipment that they had. And he was a logger, and so this was a lot of acreage of pine. And then we were again hauling camera equipment in a 4-seater Razor or whatever it was, a mule or something, up the side of a mountain. And this 90-year-old guy is like, "Oh yeah, you're doing a pretty good drive," and I'm hanging on for dear life, thinking we're gonna roll over backwards. And that was
awesome.
That was a great trip.
Awesome. How about you, Wes? Do you have a project or a trip that stands out to you in our past?
Yeah, I mean, I'll add on to this. Was the Hodges property in Northern Idaho. This was the biggest sale that Yarborough auction had ever had at that point in their history. And they had been in business for 35 years. And so just the heightened excitement around the project to start was amazing. But then Mr. Hodges, who, like Ryan said, was like in his 90s, it was a lifetime accumulation of him and his previous family to get. I mean, we're talking 8,000 acres of pine and hardwoods, basically on the side of mountains. And so, to be able to come alongside Yarborough and help them market this, because it was massive.
Yeah.
The amount of legwork, all the advertising and marketing we needed to do, but to be able to come alongside them and basically say, hey, we can help do certain things. It really was a really neat team effort, and success, at the end of the day, them being able to sell, the seller being overly joyed with the price, and Yarborough, having that now as an experience for them going forward in other land sales. So it was a big deal. It was a big deal for us.
Yeah.
There's been other projects like that, where we are brought in on some very large sales where we can be a help, be a blessing. Yeah. So. And I think that's really where it's at is there's a lot of these medium-sized companies who are working hard and they come across an opportunity, but they don't have the resources necessarily to finish it off. And so a lot of those phone calls are, hey, can you help us, do this? And absolutely we can. So it's been fun. And we've had, multiple sales like that,
Yeah.
And then, the other memorable one for us, I think right around COVID was the Whitco Career Academy.
Yep.
That was a huge project for us. And it was so diverse in the different types of advertising we were working on, from signage to even, wrapping pillars inside of the hall, even designing some of the furniture that was going to go in there, and then all of the digital marketing we were doing, all of the printing, mailing. That was an impressive. And that was a year-long project or more from start to finish.
Right.
So things like that are those stand out.
Yeah.
Because and it took all of our departments and it took all of us together.
Right.
Fulfilling some of that. So,
Yeah. So my early on time, it was started in sales as we were developing and growing our digital marketing department, where I spend most of my time today. But I gotta agree with both of you guys. Like what brought me the most, and what still today brings me the most satisfaction, fulfillment, is just being able to be a blessing to these business owners that reach out to us and say, "Hey, we have a dream, we have an idea, what we want to do. We're just not sure how to get there. How can you help us?" When Chuck called you about that business, I've had some fantastic conversations with Chuck. Just the relationships that we build with our friends, they really become our friends, and we're invested in that. And it's fun. It's fun being there with their successes and their milestones, and celebrating with them, and then being with them when they're going through hard things. And just really, we're pretty much a family of partners that we've been able to accumulate over the years. It's just such a blessing to be a part of that. And just, I still just love those opportunities when these business owners call and say, I don't know how to get this done. And it's something that we want to do. So yeah, definitely a very fulfilling piece here. So as we wrap up, I just would like to ask you both, what are your dreams? What's the future look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, for me and the business, I would say just, sustained growth, continuing to get better, understanding where we work best and how we can help our clients, going forward. I love to see growth, and it's been neat. We don't grow just for growth's sake, but it's great to have 12. Right now we have 12. It'll soon be 14 people. A family at Blue River, and being able to work together and have families together and grow together. I mean, it's been neat. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, the first 10 years goes by really quick. So I've been thinking about, so we got, for me, 20 years of work left. I'm 43, so that's 63. So 20, 25 years. That's going to go fast. And so I don't know. I just think I'm enjoying trying to steer our departments in a certain way, or the departments I'm involved in. We're still doing the work. We enjoyed the design work. I've been doing it for 20 years now. And so, but I think having that experience gives us a little more knowledge and can see what needs to change, or we can help steer the company in certain areas in a certain direction. So, no, I think that's the future. What I see for Blue River is just keep maintaining the daily job, but also help steer the ship. Yeah. After that, I don't know. Me personally, I'm looking at maybe land in Colorado. I'm kind of in the adventure scene, so I don't know. Maybe I'll buy some land and build a cabin and just live out in the middle of nowhere for the rest of my life.
Awesome.
But yeah, so.
I was fortunate early on in my career, to have some really good men, who invested in me, in my work life, and helped me, helped mold me into who I am, and was very honest with me when I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, and so I mean, I guess for me too, just moving forward is being able to transition into that type of mentor where, we're now hiring employees that could be my kids' age at this point. So I've kind of crested to that age level where now I'm hiring, people they're my kids' age. And so, looking at ways to invest in them and mentor and bring them up like I was, and understanding, business and how things go. And so I'm looking forward to that stage. It's going to be a fun stage. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you both that you both have been doing that. It's not something that's new. You've been a huge piece of my personal growth. and mentors to me as I've been navigating my own raising of kids and professional career. And thank you both for that. It's been a blast to be a part of. Excited for the next 25, 30, 40 years and what that brings and what we see happen there. So just in wrap up, I just want to just first of all, thank you guys for investing your time here, and we'll have you back on this show regularly through the next few years. And the vision is to release a show every couple of weeks, really just kind of helping not only our current customers, but just other small, medium-sized businesses that are looking for advice and navigating this crazy world of marketing, how it changes just so quickly, especially in this digital age that we're in, and how fast marketing strategies and available platforms change just so quickly. So we just want to provide a platform where we can talk through those kind of things, celebrate victories with our customers, have them on and talk about that, provide a platform for our team to come on and talk about their passions and what they're how they're so good at what they do, and just evaluate that and look at new strategies and techniques that we're implementing into our own marketing strategies. So I just want to encourage you as listeners or viewers, just to keep an eye out on all of the available podcast platforms, as well as our website and social media channels. Our website will have all of these podcasts listed out there, as well as a form where you can input questions that you would like us to discuss on the podcast, or even show topics, or even guest appearances if you wanted. So just thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on our introductory episode of The Marketing Compass. And we just hope that'll be a blessing to you all.
Thanks, Nick.